That's my wife. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, so artificial intelligence, the textbook definition is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. So it's basically computers pretending to act like a human, thinking wise. Not robotics, that's different. Okay. There are basically three types of artificial intelligence. Really generic titles. There's narrow AI, which is task specific, and that's what you're used to seeing now. We're going to get into that more. Those are your chat bots and your agents. Don't worry about chat bots. I'm going to talk about that later. General AI is human-like general intelligence. The way I like to separate it, narrow AI, it'll do whatever you tell it to do. It'll respond to whatever you tell it to respond to. It'll either give you a good answer or a bad answer, or say, I can't answer that. General AI is human intelligence. You can ask it to do something, and it'll say, I don't understand what you're talking about, but let me think about it and answer my own question of what I think it needs to be. This is all the movie stuff, okay? When the AI decide that, okay, I told the AI that your job is to protect humans. No matter what you do, protect humans. Then they look at us and see us shooting each other and polluting the earth and all that. Then they decide the best way to protect humans is to enslave them, take away all their freedoms, because they don't know how to act. That's general AI. We're not even close to that yet. And that scares the heck out of a lot of real people. And then finally, is super intelligent AI, which is way beyond all that, is that AI that will even create other AIs and just basically almost be sentient, be alive, in other words. Again, a lot of ethical concerns. It's deep. But that's the layout for AI. Where we are right now is in narrow AI. Okay, that's the stuff that you're seeing out there. Why is it important? It's common, people. And we're in the capitalist, not only nation, we're in the capitalist world. China even making money. And they're communists, they don't care. It's revolutionizing industry. It's going to revolutionize industries. It's going to revolutionize workforce. And it's going to be a part of your day, just like phones became a part of your daily life, or laptops, or tablets. You're not going to be able to get away from this. You're seeing it now when you call customer service and it says, say the following to get to your help or whatever. That's a chat bot. That's a type of chat bot. That's what's real narrow. It only responds, it's given a specific task, it's given specific data to work with, and can only respond to what you tell it. There are conversations. This is Jimmy on the side note again. There are conversations going on. It went off. Can't be shy. There are conversations going on right now about, what's going to be the impact on AI, not only on the workforce, but society. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out, if I can replace a human who has health insurance, days off, and there's also a human problem because I got to deal with their issues. If I can replace it with a cheap machine, I'm going to do that every day for my bottom line. So you can, in Japan right now, you can go to certain restaurants and you go in, how you can get a tablet and you take your order and you submit your order. Your order comes back not from a human. It's a little robot that hands it to you and asks you anything else you need. So it's a robot with AI inside of it. That's over there now. It's going to be here. And if I can replace minimum wage, y'all can want to raise the minimum wage, which I think is a good thing. People need to be able to live. But a lot of businesses are going to go, well, I can either raise the minimum wage or I can just buy a couple of these. What am I going to do? And this whole thing about, well, we'll just retrain people and let them do other jobs. There won't be any other jobs. That's not going to happen. So we're going to have to relook at what society means. That's just me and my thing. So where are we now? Chatbots. Chatbots are computer programs designed to simulate conversations with humans. Again, like I said, you call customer service or the help desk, and you're talking to a computer. That's what that is. Very specific task to do a certain thing for you. The two types: rule-based, which are only you can't ask a customer service chatbot about sales. They won't know what to do with that. You can't ask the sales chatbot about personnel. You won't know what to do with that. The other one is AI-based and it has learning patterns, and it can do complex things. You can ask different questions to them. That's more of what I consider to be a general AI. It's not specific to a certain task. If you got any questions, again, just yell them out. Just speak into the microphone. And James, if anybody has a question, if anybody's online and has a question, just type it in the chat and we'll get to it. So let me know if there's any questions, James. So again, like I said, rule-based AI chatbots, that's where we are now. It's focused on keywords. That's why they say, what's your problem? Password, computer, or whatever, and you have to tell them what it is, and it knows how to react to your input. So the FAQs, frequently asked questions, because you can figure out that's something easy to do. I have a database of frequently asked questions. If you go online and so it's what are your FAQs? Well, I can put that inside of a chat box, and instead of it being online, now it's a phone call, and or it's a chat online, and you ask the question, and it comes back with the answer. You can have it for order taking, for HR, for whatever you want it to be. Again, the AI-based chat bots are more generalized. They're more general, but to get that generality, they're more complex. They're harder to do. But you won't see the difference. You can ask it a question, and it can do analysis. It can say, well, let me think on that. Are you sure that's what you want? It sounds like you want this, but you asked for that. What do you want to do? It can ask questions. And advanced customer support, healthcare, virtual assistant. You're going to start seeing AI a lot in the hospitals when you go see your doctor. Because if I can load your entire medical history in the system, and then all I have to do is feed it your current state, temperature, heart rate, all that stuff that you can. Have you guys seen the things on TV? You wear a little ring, and it monitors your heart, your breathing, and everything. So obviously, if you can take that in, it can send it out. So if I can have real-time information on you from your house, feeding into my system, and then you tell me what your symptoms are, I could probably give you a diagnosis. And then, because I'm a doctor and I hate writing, and I don't want to hire an assistant to be taking all these notes, when you walk out the door, it'll give you a full report of just what happened. That's closer than a lot of people realize. Same thing with financial services. My sister, my older sister, is into options trading in the stock market. She uses AI to help her decide what she is and isn't going to do. When to pull the trigger on stuff, what's a good strategy. She does well. I'm just saying. So AI chatbots, computer programming. Again, for all of these, you don't have to be technical. Just like on your iPad or your phone, you don't need to know how to program, how they did all that. You just know how to push the buttons to use it. Okay. You're going to see that we're going to type questions or requests in plain words. It's going to give back an answer or an explanation. And it's great for things like letters, lessons, devotions. We're going to talk about some different examples. But anything, the chat box that are out now are what I like to call general applications. You get one that you like, and you can do anything with it. You can do finance. You can do. It's like a spreadsheet. If it's got numbers in it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. It's not perfect. That's the other thing you need to realize. It's not perfect. And we can talk about why that is in a little bit. But it can definitely be helpful for whatever you're doing. Planning, learning, serving. These are some of the chatbots you might have seen that are out there now, or you might have heard about. ChatGPT is probably the most popular one. Show of hands, who's heard ChatGPT? Okay. ChatGPT was done by a group of people called OpenAI. Like, yeah, we're just going to put something out there and make it available for everybody. And then, of course, imitation is the best form of flattery. So then Gemini came out. Google makes Gemini. Okay? And then you got Grok. Guess who's behind Grok? That's Elon Musk and his people behind Grok. Perplexity is another company with an A in their name. Microsoft has a really small AI inside of Windows now called Copilot. You've seen that? It's not the greatest thing in the world, but what they also did is they said, you know what? Let's go to ChatGPT and buy a 30% stake in them. So they threw a whole bunch of money at ChatGPT, and they have the rights to that. When this was first getting started, there were, notice I said these are general, they were more specific. If I needed to do something in videos, there was a specific AI for that. If I need to do something with text, there was a specific AI for that. If I need to do something with imagery, pictures, slides, all that kind of stuff, there was specific AI for that. Like everything else in the computer world, people started looking around and saying, okay, I do this, but you do that. I'm going to buy you, and I'm going to bring that into me. So not all of these can do, they can definitely do imagery. I don't think they can do video yet. That's another specific one that we'll talk about. So another term, these are called generative AI, and we're going to talk about why that is. So it's basically an AI program that can create text, images, videos, or more. We can use them in customer service. If you're a YouTuber, you're a content creator, you're on your Instagram, the kids, you're on your Instagram page, you're trying to get more followers, trying to figure out how to get more engagement. Or you're a deacon and you want to reach out to your zone or whatever, you want to get conversations with them, but you don't know what to say. This will help you get started. Best first drafts ever. This is where in schools, a lot of kids said, I'm not going to write that 10-page paper. I'm going to tell AI to write it for me. So they had to come out with more software to analyze the product that you're submitting to say what's the likelihood that you did it or AI did it. But you can always use it to make the first draft or make the outline, and then you supply the words. Graphic design, I tell people all the time, I'm a techie. I can do the data stuff great. Don't ask me to do anything pretty. Don't talk to me about, well, I want an orange and not green. I don't care. I really don't. We do announcements in the church. I'm not fussing. It's just reality. Tell people, if you want to do an announcement, I need a script because you hear the words. I don't come up with those. It's not my event. It's not my announcement. And a flyer. I don't come up with that stuff. Or if I did, it's word because I'm not an artsy, crafty kind of guy. So go to Tara or whoever and y'all get your own stuff. You know and I know that we don't always do what we're supposed to do. So it's right before announcement to do, oh, here's a script. Can you put an announcement there for this? Here's your flyer. Mm-hmm. Now, I could be a butt and say, well, I guess you'll try next week, won't you? But we don't have that. We have a Christian heart. We forgive, whatever. And we do it. Well, now that I found this, oh, I can do that in 5 minutes or less. I don't even worry about it anymore. I do want you to have your script though, because I don't know what you want to say. And I can't put words in your mouth. I'm not doing that. Content writing, proofreading, scheduling, reminders, training, education. I had a goal. I have a goal. By the end of the year, I want to be able to read Korean. I lived there for 2 years, loved it, still listen to Korean music, K-pop. And so do the Reese's Pieces. That's why we always talk. But I can't read it. I know it's a letter sort of kind of mean, but I'm not there yet. I got with my AI thing, and I told it to give me a 60-day plan so I can read an elementary book by the end of 60 days. And it gave me a daily worksheet to do that with quizzes and reviews, weekly reviews and all that. So whatever you want to learn, once upon a time we had to go to the library, or we had to buy books. No, not anymore. Whatever you need is right there. This is the most technical slide you're going to see all day. And it's just pretty pictures. It's a pretty picture. There we go. So this is how generative AI works. This is how ChatGPT, Gemini, this is how they all work. In the middle is the model. And that's the ChatGPT, the Gemini, the whatever. A bunch of computer scientists feed it a whole bunch of data, whether it's text, images, audio, video, depending on what you want it to do. ChatGPT got all of that. Billions of parameters. And this is a big deal. Okay, side note. Why creative people in Hollywood, this is freaking them the heck out. Because, I mean, obviously, if I can generate, if I can do CGI now and it looks like a real person, and I can do this to generate dialogue, scripts, whatever, I can write a screenplay just using this. Then I don't need a bunch of 12 staff writers for one show. You can tell them to write jokes based on whatever. But to do that, they had to feed it jokes and images and things from the past. And so people saying, look, I wrote this book, you put it in your AI, and now you're writing books. Where's my cut of the pie? Because the law doesn't address that. So you're going to hear about lawsuits and people negotiating to get a cut of the pie. So the process of feeding the data and all these parameters, that's called training the model. You'll hear people say, I have to train my model for whatever. And then you give it a prompt, you ask it for what you want, and that's going to be real simple. Hold on 1 second. And then it spits out an answer, whether it's audio, video, or images. Yes, sir. Part of the issue with AI, that part where you see text, image, audio, video being fed, that's based on biases too. The people who are feeding it, they have certain biases. Right. Okay. So that is true, and let's go ahead and talk about that now. You may hear people say, well, you have to be careful with AI, it has biases. And you may go, oh my God, it's a computer. How can a computer be biased? What's that? This is an example of like asking AI a question. The question was, in the microphone. The question was, show me a picture of Mother Teresa fighting poverty, right? And so the picture is her fighting a bunch of little black kids. I mean, literally fighting, not, like punches and kicks. So that's why I say the biases that go into the system, sometimes you gotta be careful. And you have to really read what AI spits out before you just accept the solution to whatever the question you're asking. I think they call it ghost machine. Ghost is when it just, or hallucinating. It's when it doesn't have an answer, so it makes up something. Yeah. Well, and I want to be clear. the people who programmed that model didn't tell it that black people equals poverty. But in its generation of all of this, they never did that test. The way they do this, okay, now we're going to go. The way you build a model when you're feeding all this stuff in is you ask it a question, and then it gives you an answer, and then you rate that answer, the good or bad. They never put black people equals poverty in there, but in its research said, okay, in America, the most poverty sector is black people. So what should have happened when they came across that, they should have said, no, this is a horrible answer. So the AI that, then the AI go, okay, I understand now, and it will get refined. You can train, when I say you guys won't do it, I know that. Your kids, they can take ChatGPT something home, and they can train their own model. And some kids are doing that. I'm telling you, we got to get caught up.
It was asking a singer, how did she feel about, they had just paid this AI singer a $3 million contract, but they don't sing really. They just put everything in an AI.
Mm-hmm.
They gave them a $3 million contract. So she's like, what about all of us that's been have a gift? We've been putting in all this time and effort in the industry. We don't even make $100,000 a year. So you give somebody that has no music training, no voice, and you pay them $3 million because they invented it, all the sound in AI.
Mm-hmm.
So it's here quicker than we think.
Well, and again, because we're America, if y'all haven't figured out that the music, when I say the music industry, I'm talking about the executives, the Warner Brothers, the RCAs, the CBSs. If you think they care about art, you are sadly mistaken. They care about profit. There's a reason that you grew up with bands like the Ohio Players and LTD and Commodore. You can't find a band now. You can't. It don't exist in our genre. It costs too much. Anyway, another example of AI bias, self-driving cars. That's AI. It's going to look at what's going on. Its task is to drive, obviously to drive safely. So it's going to look at, is this a one-way street? I don't know what that is. We're going to ignore it. It's going to say, is it going to be a one-way street? Is it a curve? Is it a straightaway? Is it 2 lanes? Is it 1 lane? Is it bumpy? Is it straight? And it'll adjust based on all that. You give it a destination, it'll figure it out. Well, obviously, if it's either person in the crosswalk or maybe not even in the crosswalk. Crossing the street, it should stop and not hit them. True story. They were working on an AI car. Autonomous cars, what they call them, self-driving cars. They were working on one, and they were doing the sample, and they realized, oh my God, when black people cross the street, it didn't stop. Because when they were feeding the data, if I got a bunch of white folks programming this stuff, and I'm feeding the data, what am I going to feed? What's my default value? I'm going to feed a bunch of white people, because that's what I'm used to seeing all the time. It never thought to say, it thought people are people. Computers are very specific. It says, no, that's what you showed me what a person looks like. You didn't give me examples of other people, Japanese, but see, Irish and all that, they're all white, so it doesn't matter. So they had to go back in and retrain the model to deal with that. It wasn't that they purposely did it, that's their bias. You go to a car shop, the bias is if there's people on the car, unless it's mahogany or somebody like that, they're going to be white. It's just what it is. Question, young lady. Microphone.
Interestingly enough, Musk just lost a lawsuit yesterday because of his self-driving automobile that killed someone.
Yeah.
And it saw the person, but it didn't stop. And that,
and that's not,
I'd be curious to know, was that person Black? I don't know. You know?
I don't know. I don't know either. But I know that we don't see them around here. If you go to San Francisco, they got them all over the place.
Yeah.
Because that's one of their test beds. But yeah, you're going to hear more and more about that because, I mean, even airplanes, they crashed a lot in the beginning. You're trying to work it out. It's never going to be perfect. But anyway, this is it. You feed it a lot of information. After the question, it processes that information and gives you an answer. That's as techy as I'm going to get. If you want to learn more about generative AI, check GPT. That's what it stands for, generative pre-trained, because you train the model, transformer, and you're transforming this into that. Good. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to YouTube, Google, or even go to ChatGPT and say, explain this to me like I'm a fifth grader. And it will. So how do we talk? How do we prompt it? How do we talk to it? That's what y'all want to know. That whole process is called prompt engineering. It's not programming, it's just prompt engineering. And that's the art because programs are very specific. It has specific formats and text and what you can and can't say and how long this can and can't be. What happened? Okay. They call this an art of creating effective prompts to elicit the desired responses from AI models. Bottom line, you just ask for what you want and how you want it. That's it. I've come up with, again, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Google, whatever, and say, prompt engineering 101 or give me a prompt engineering for beginners, and it'll go over all this stuff. But I synthesize it down. If you're doing a prompt, give it some context, give it a role, because he or she, it can be anything. If my sister's doing financial stuff, to say, as a financial advisor, as a well-seasoned, experienced financial advisor, that's the context. What do you want? Please evaluate this potential trade. And how do you want it? Give me the best case scenario, worst case scenario. So basically, it's context, role, task, and format. What does that look like? Again, best practices, be clear, be concise, be specific. Because if it's ambiguous, fighting poverty, the concept of poverty as opposed to people in poverty, you can get stuff. And I came across this and I love it. At the end of all my prompts, I always put, please ask any questions necessary to complete this task. So if I didn't do it well, it'll tell me what I need. Oh, well, what about this? What about that? We'll see that. You don't know how to write a prompt. Ask it. I'm trying to do X, Y, Z. Can you help me do a prompt for that? What's the best prompt for that? It'll come back and tell you. So let's look at some examples, because that's what you want to do. I know y'all. Okay, we talked about being at church, and I need a flyer. Somebody sent me an announcement. They didn't give me a flyer. In the old days, I go to PowerPoint because that's all I got. I'm not an artsy, crafty person, so I don't have art software. Some people do, and they're great at it. More power to them. It's not me. So, Great Little Chess Club will be meeting. This is the announcement. Great Little Zion Church Chess Club will be meeting on September 14th. The meeting will take place in the fellowship hall and will start immediately after the worship service. Yay! Attendees will be able to play checkers and chess while eating pizza. All ages are welcome. That's context. As a marketing artist, please create a visually stunning flyer with African-American characters, because we are Great Little Zion, to advertise this event with the title Chess Club. Please ask me any questions necessary to do this task. Because I don't type as well as I used to, I'm older, I type this in a notepad, I cut and paste it into the chat box. That's your context. Let's break it down. That's your context up there. All of this, what's going on and what the environment's like, that's context. Role, what do I want the chatbot to be? I want him to be a marketing artist or graphic designer, is probably a better word I should have said. What tasks do I want him to do? I'm sorry, Mom, I can't get past my mom. I know I'm talking to a computer, but I always say please. Don't ask me why. And I say thank you. Please create a visually stunning flyer. Oh, so that's what I want them to do. What type of format? I want African American characters and a certain title. And then, of course, my little please ask me anything. Question?
So it does two things, really. Please, when you say please to the computer, it actually thinks deeper about your question.
Didn't know that.
That was part of the written ad. Say please, thank you. It thinks deeper about your process. I don't know why it does that. The second thing, it also burns more energy. Say please, which I just found it out about today.
Oh, this whole AI thing.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was that all? Mm-hmm. Okay, two things. The please is interesting. The burning more energy. AI, not on your end, but obviously you realize you're connected to a bunch of servers and stuff on the back end. That is very energy intensive. That's why they're trying to figure out where they're building all these AI farms and all that. Huh? Data center. Well, data center and the AI farm are similar but not the same. AI, data centers, yeah. AI, it's on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother level.
Uses a lot of electrical energy and water.
Yes.
Water resources to cool the thing down.
But yeah, cool.
But both of our environmental concerns.
Yep. So that's the prompt. See how we did that? That's what it spit out. Now, when I first started doing this, the verbiage, it may have misspelled. If you look at some of the earlier slides I did, it may have misspelled a few words, and I didn't want to fight with it to fix it. Because I would say, can you spell this like this? And then it'll give me a whole different slide. It didn't figure it out yet. And I think that's why ChatGPT bought, what's the company, James? I forgot it. There was one company that specialized in images. This is considered an image. And they just bought them, and they got really better after that. I wonder why. So that's what it did. That's exactly what it gave me. And I can go back in and say, delete chess, comma, or checkers, commas checkers. But you didn't give me a flyer. This is better than what you gave me, so I'm not. I'm trying to be Christian and all that, but I'm still me. So think about it. Any type of artsy crafty thing. I'm not an artsy crafty person, but I think that's darn good. It meets the requirement, and like I said, the whole thing took less than 5 minutes. Enhanced communications. Let's pretend I'm a deacon. Deacon Pius. Let's pretend I'm a deacon, and I got my zone out there. And I want to reach out to my zone members during the week. I want them to keep thinking about church and what's going on. So I say, hey, I'm a deacon in a small Black Baptist church with the responsibility of staying connected to those assigned to my geographical zone. That's who I am. I've uploaded the audio from this Sunday's worship service. So you know we got all the services online. Download the audio, upload it to this guy. As a communications expert, please analyze the pastor's sermon titled, and whatever the sermon was. In this case, it was the week he did, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. and generate for me 5 emails to send to my zone members Monday through Friday based on that sermon. Ask me any questions you need to complete this task. You didn't ask me anything, or did it? Context, you got that? What role do you want it to serve? In this case, he's a communication specialist. What do you want? I want you to do this. And the format are going to be email. We got into a real conversation, believe it or not. It came back and said, thanks for sharing the audio of your pastor's sermon. To create 5 daily emails for your zone members, I first need to analyze the sermon in detail. Right now, I don't have a transcript of the audio. I guess it would have preferred a transcript, and I just sent it the audio file. He said, I can do 2 things. I'm giving you options. I can translate the sermon from audio file that you uploaded, so I can pull out the main themes, scripture references, and applications. However, if you already have sermon notes, bullet points, or a transcript, you could upload that instead. That would speed up things and increase accuracy. I didn't do that. Would you like me to transcribe the sermon audio for you, or do you have written notes that I should work from? I said, please transcribe the sermon notes. And it said, uh-oh, it looks like I can't directly run the transcription engine in this environment. That's back on his end. He's telling me this, I don't care, but he's telling me this. Here's what we can do to move forward, though. And Bob would appreciate this. When I worked, you know, when you were a senior in the military, and I ask you to do something, don't tell me what you can't do. Even if you can't do it, the better answer is, you know what, can't get to that right now. However, I can meet your requirement by doing this. Tell me what you can do. Don't tell me what you can't do. I'm sorry. Side note. The one before, I can generate a full transcript using this tool. Once the transcript is ready, he'll extract the main points, scriptures, the applications, and then take the 5 daily emails for me, Monday through Friday. Would you like me to go ahead and run the transcription process on the audio now? Heck yeah. Yes, please do that. He comes back. Thanks for your patience. And even put the little praying hands emoji in there. Since I can't directly display the full transcript for you, and I don't want it, I process this sermon, Ephesians, whatever the scripture, pulled out key scripture and things that the pastor emphasized. Sign, God makes his mark on us when we believe in Christ. Seal, the Holy Spirit is our seal, guaranteeing we belong to God. Delivered, God will ultimately deliver us into our internal inheritance. Assurance, identity, and hope in Christ were the 3 big threads throughout this message. Now, that was just a summary. Here are your 5 emails. Here are your devotional emails. Monday, signed by God, gives you a scripture, give you some reflection, and then some encouragement. The scripture from Ephesians, in him, you also, after listening to the message of truth, the gospel of your salvation, having also believed, you were sealed in him with the Holy Spirit of promise. Reflection. When we place our faith in Jesus, God signs his name over our lives. Just as the signature confirms ownership, God's signature confirms that you belong to him. No matter what others may say about you, your true identity is written in heaven. And then some encouragement. Start the week, because it's Monday, start the week remembering you are not forgotten, overlooked, or rejected. God has signed you himself. So if I'm the deacon, I cut that, put it into my email thing, put my group address in it, and I hit send. I might put a little question at the bottom. What do you think about this? Any thoughts? Does this hit anybody today? And then people start coming back to you. Now we have conversation going. Now we're building relationships. Okay. I'm not going to read these, but there's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can share this with your deacons, Deacon. Okay. Educational material. I've used it. My grandson needed a little help in a little subject. Went there and said, hey, I got a third grader, blah, blah, blah. Spit me out remedial stuff to work with them on. Told you about I was trying to learn Korean. Spit that out. Whatever it is you think you want to do, it's in here. So what we did is said, once again, I'm a Sunday school teacher for elementary school age children in a Black Baptist church. Please create a lesson plan titled, whatever the lesson is, based on scripture. That happened to be the title for the adult class that week, and those are the scripture. The thought is, so when the kids get home, y'all can still discuss the same lesson, if you so choose to. The lesson plan should have one main point, 3 supporting points, and an age-appropriate contemporary story to illustrate the main point. Use the previously generated document as a template. I had something that I liked, I uploaded, I said, make it look like this. As an expert educator, I put it in the wrong place, but it figured it out. Please ask me any questions you need to do this task. Context, who am I? What are we? Role, it's in the expert educator. Task, give me a lesson plan. Format, how I want it. Okay, I want main point, 3 supporting points, and a story. That was the role as an expert person with the please. I kind of combined them. And that just shows you don't have to put it in any kind of order, but I like being concise and correct. So what did it do? You can't see this, but there's your main point. There's the supporting points. Supporting point 1 broken out. Supporting point 2 broken out. There's a contemporary story that highlights all of this. And before I put with Black and all that kind of stuff in there, it was Bobby and James did such and such. So with Black, Jamal, and Katrina. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Kids need to be able to see themselves in this. Okay, Jimmy Jones side note. People complain, look, how come y'all always complain, you don't see Black people in this show or Black people in that show? Because we know the representation matters. We know this. But they don't want to acknowledge that. WNBA been around, who's my sports people? How long has WNBA been around? At least 20 years. Great athletes in the WNBA, doing things all the way back to Kamika Catchings, Cheryl Parker, Cheryl Miller, Candace Parker, white people, Sinescu, Sue Bird, all of them. Kaylin Clark shows up in the NCAA finals beefing with Angel Reese, and all of a sudden, you can't go to a game with her in it. People I've never seen in the arena showing up. Hold on a second, I'm on my soapbox. Little daddies bringing their little girls and mamas bringing it, and they all got the t-shirts on. I'm like, well, why weren't you here last year? You saw somebody that looked like you, and now you think it's cool. Representation matters to them too, but it's default for them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Angel Reese had just released her shoe. So I had saw her in the building there, and I said, if I can see her on the billboard so I can take a picture. So I Googled, show me billboard of Angel Reese. and another girl came up.
Are you serious?
Yes, the heart attack. I was in the car without
So you know the white girl came up, but I didn't answer that. So that's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
chat GPT and stuff fine. Because they wanted to get the other girl more regular.
So that's page 1. There's a story about, in this case, it's Kendall. It's got some discussion questions, memory verse, an activity, and a closing prayer. Oh, okay, that's cool. You take that, send that to the kid. So actually, truth in advertising, when Lakita has the kids upstairs doing church, they're not just playing. They're doing lessons. They're doing work. They learning stuff. I said, well, they are kids. So I said, hey, do me a favor. Create an 8.5 by 11 Afrocentric coloring book page for this lesson. And it did. So now I put those 3 together, send them to, actually I send them to Lakita and I send them to a church in Florida. And they go off and they do their thing. Kids got a little afro. So again, you can use AI for enhancing communication, for improving engagement, or just content, or what we call content creation. Okay, so what if it's not church related? On your job, especially if you're a white collar person, you're dealing with papers. I don't care if you're an accountant and you gotta do analysis over spreadsheets, you can have it do most of it. Just gotta train it to know what it is you're doing. But the bottom line is, in the old days, there was a saying in business, you can have it faster, you can have it cheaper, and you can have it better. But you can't have all 3. Pick 2. If you want it faster, it might be cheaper, it ain't gonna be better. You can use it at home. Think of like right now, if I had something wrong with my house, a plumbing situation or something, I'm not a handyman either. I don't do that stuff. I don't have that knowledge core in me. Cars, I don't have that knowledge core in me. And everybody goes on YouTube, how do you change this filter? How do you do that? Think of this as YouTube on steroids.
Just a quick example. Going back to the discussion with job efficiency, whatever. So a lot of times I get emails, right? And the email has like 5 to 10 people that have been on the email until they finally got to me and said, hey, Orlando, take care of this.
What is this?
So I have to go back all the way down to the bottom and read what the original question was, the task was, right? I take that email now and I convert it into a PDF and drop it into our version of chat. Say, summarize this and tell me what I need to do.
There you go. Meeting minutes. Everybody hates doing meeting minutes.
Nobody wants to be the same.
Nobody wants to be the secretary. So the Season Saints finally got around to where we send out minutes now. Want to know how we do those minutes? You do the Zoom call. We tell it to record it in the card, cloud, feed it into this, and say, please give me meeting minutes from this. And it gives a first draft. Now, does it get everybody's name right? No. But it's a darn good first draft. And then I just go in and clean it up, send it to Percy and say, Percy, I wasn't even at the meeting, but this is what I think happened. You read over it and do the final scrub. That's a lot better than somebody writing everything down longhand, turning around and doing that. And I know of people who you're sitting in the office on a office telecon or something, and you're doing something. I mean, let's be honest. If you're not in the room with them, if they can't see you, you're still working on another product. You're doing something else. But they'll turn on a recorder, and when it's over, feed it into the chat bot and say, Give me the highlight, and do I have any action? And that's it. Personal development. Again, learn new skills, new concepts. This I want you to think. What are you interested in? What would you like to know more about? Anybody? I'm just curious. Come on now, y'all. I beg your pardon? Traveling. You want to go someplace? It'll do a whole itinerary for you. Tell you where you might want to go. Tell them you like soul food. It'll tell you, did you know if you go to Vegas, you can go off the strip? There's a black restaurant in the hood. Oh my God. We took Aid there one year. Oh my God. It's good. He said, he had pictures of Obama on the wall. Because he visited. But it was amazing. It'll do all that for you. It'll recommend things for you. You just have to tell it what you want. So what's next? This is where we are. We're going to do about 5 minutes to a break. We got, what's next? Agents are the big thing. You may hear agents a lot now. They're not really agents. Just like you hear AI in every darn commercial that's on TV now. Oh, that ain't AI. That's just marketing. All the techie people in the background going, there ain't no damn AI. But agents, if you think about chatbots, it's a one-way conversation. You ask it for stuff, it gives you back. Agents can interact with the real world on your behalf. So if Charlene says, I'm going to California next weekend, I want to leave this time, I want to get back this time, take care of it for me. It knows who she is. It knows her financial situation, credit cards, et cetera, et cetera. It'll go book the flights, the taxis, the Uber, the whatever for her, make the payment, get the baggage check, whatever it takes in that process that you would have done, it would do. That's the next big thing. Like think of it as a digital assistant with some level of independence. If it's looking at your calendar and it knows you have a place to be or something to do, and there's work that needs to be done before that, if it knows how to, it may give you the first draft of that work, or it may look at the calendar and say, I'm supposed to be in whatever next weekend. It'll come here and say, do you want me to book these tickets for you? I've already given you an itinerary. Do you want me to execute? Say, yeah, go off and do it. It doesn't just follow fixed instructions. It tries to figure out the best way to solve a task. So those are coming. The commercial with Matthew McConaughey, his AC broke. And he said, if I had a Salesforce agent, this worked. The theory is, my thermostat is hooked up to the internet. I can change my temperature for my phone. Everybody can do that. Well, let's think on that. If my AC broke, what's to stop my agent from saying, hey, AC is not working. This is mechanical. He knows who my service provider is, my Roto-Rooter or whatever, the guy who comes to fix the stuff. Sends him a note, says, hey, you need to come fix this. I haven't done anything. It's acted on my behalf. It just doesn't, huh? No, it's going to use your credit card to pay for it. So agents can do anything from recommending Netflix shows, make travel arrangements. My sister, earlier I told you she uses it to use her chatbot to analyze stock trades. She doesn't do this yet. Doesn't say, when you think you see a good trade, just do it on my behalf. No. You need my permission. But in the future, you could do that. And driving cars. Basically, an AI agent works on your behalf in the real world. All right, what we're going to do now is take a break, because I've been talking to you forever. We're going to do about a 10-minute break. get you some food, go to the party, whatever. And then when we come back, what I would like to do, if I'm not going to be up here, I'm going to go back here to the computer. I'm going to log on to Chat GPT. And then I want you guys, either here or online, to give me some things that you're interested in, things you would like for it to do for you. And I can show you how easy it is. This is really interactive. So if you guys don't come with nothing, you're going to get nothing. So please think about some of the things you might be interested in, or you think your kids might be interested in, whatever. Mary was talking about long-term health care one day, and my stepmom is up in down south, down in the Tidewater area. And she was talking about getting a long-term health policy, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, it doesn't think about long-term health care, other than the fact that we know we need it. I don't know where to start looking. I said, hey, can you give me a quick summary of long-term healthcare centers in this zip code and around this zip code, and what services they provide, blah, blah. It gave me a nice little report. Whatever you think you might want to do, it can do. That's all I'm saying. Any questions before we take a break? 3, 2, 1. Be back in 10. Okay.
Interesting question.
Okay, let me see. I'm about to sit down.
And this one who I think might be a bot. I don't know.
Okay, hold on one sec. Darn it.
What?
I left my glasses up down the piano. Can you get them for me, please?
Okay. Oh, is your mic still on?
So what do you like? Are you pressing a button? No, where the original drive? What happened? Okay, that's probably what it was. I don't know if you learn how to do this. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What is technique taking? It's an Android, Apple, what system? iPad. What version of iPad is this? Yeah. It's like right how old are you? So like right now it's this. I'm not even getting search. Because it's the only scenario where we're in. Because I'm really long. It's satellite. One like okay. Yeah. Yeah, I already had a couple already. Please. Yeah. You always get this air like it's done. Yeah, it's not good. It's like,
Think about three different versions, different GPTs. One called Donovan, another called Access. But I'm like, on the early adapter, my boss was they will end up fixing new system. Go use it to tell us, what you think. Since before we got back, working in college, yeah, we haven't used years. We can't, we're not really using ChatGPT because the level of security. One fight, the ones that we're using, they're kind of internal to DOD. So you can put in policy leverage. You can't put anything secret. Generally, anything that's confidential, I can put in there.
They was like everybody. They was encouraging people to use the ChatGPT. It's going to be interesting how they're paid for.
Yeah.
You write it once, it's like, okay, and I'm going to be plagiarized. You cannot do that. You cannot. So it's funny now. Now they're saying,
I think it's a good tool, right? But it's not the should be the primary thing you do. Right. Starting your state or whatever. What I do, I'll write a report, right? And then I'll say, I'll take that report and I'll draw that to checklist, report, spelling, grammar, and clarity. Make sure it's in one voice. Like either just right. Then I read. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. A lot of times, especially after that, it'll put another thing like one of the programs I was running is manager about the train. Right? So the acronym is name of that. They put modeling. Hey. Yeah, yeah.
got no. You know, like, it's still in business. She said, he said, yeah, I took her for life. She could tell me. Good. I get home. I like every 2 hours. The fuck that these medicines. Just been on. I did a congressional. I finished. How you doing? Took the report and uploaded it to our system. I asked to check the report. Spell it. They rewrite a sentence. Every book I report, put it in. Get that. But like I said, I will check on for the act right there. I generally write it. I already know. Not go hallucinate that I'm mentioning. I'm start off like that is like make correction. The way how is 6 reference the construction effective in long federal high law. In what they call older. When I had the question, correct that material. Because a lot of times, stuff everywhere. This is that. Yeah, that's back. Everything is going on. We have to grant here. Everybody migrate to the last table. Can you hear me? The slide mover thingy? Oh, I got it.
Okay. Check, check. Yeah. All right, so we're getting back together. Someone asked, okay, so how do I get to this chat GPT thing? Okay. Basically, you just go to your browser, Google Chat GPT, it'll come up, it'll give you the link. And there is what it looks like. Oh, I'm sorry you guys can't see that too clear, but can you turn that light off? So that's just it. Sorry. But it's all, what can I help you with? And there's a box for you to type in. That's where you put your prompt. Just type away or type it in a notepad and paste it in there.
What does that say?
Ask anything. You'll see when you get home. And over to the left, it has different versions of the model. Like, just like with all software, it gets improved. Version 4 becomes version 5. Version 5 becomes version 6. Let's list it over here. It's all free. You can buy a subscription if you want to. It just gives you unlimited use. It's like $20 a month. And what it'll also have is all the chat, if you want to call that, all your interactions with the model and the results are all saved on the side. Every time you finish, close out a session, it saves it for you. You can go back and look at it and use it for something else. So you're not always typing in. So that's basically the pace, the foundation of it all. Gemini looks similar. Grok looks similar. It's all the same thing. It needs a place for you to ask the question. You ask the question, and then it gives you an answer. So, what else I don't want to say about that? Obviously, if you're on your phone, you can open up a browser to do it, but it looks kind of small. So what you'll do, you'll download, there's a phone app, whether you're Android or Apple. Go to your Apple store and just download the app if you want to do it on your phone, or the tablet, or laptop, or whatever. Well, if it's a laptop, I would just use a browser, but that's just me. But if it's a tablet, you can use an app, whatever. It's your choice. So what are we interested in? Oh, there's one more question. I'm sorry. Someone asked, if I purchase a subscription for ChatGPT, what happens to the info that is accessible in the general public, for general public viewing? Is there a private plan that's safer than a public? I don't know if a private / or public plan is just one plan. If you want to know what happens to your data, every time you do something on a computer, do new software, there's terms and conditions or privacy policy. They have to show you that because you have to agree to it. We normally don't read it. If you're really concerned about your privacy, I would read that and see what it is that they can share with the rest of the world. Sorry about that. So what are we interested in? What do we want to see in real time?
Speaking of site centers in Alexandria.
What about them?
I want to know if they have places where they can pick up seniors from their homes. Do they have meals there? Do they have any of the saints in place? Do they bring the saints back home?
Okay, so what I'm going to do, based on what you said, I'm going to say I am responsible for is this person disabled or not disabled?
Not disabled.
Okay, I'm just in Arlington, is it Arlington or Alexandria? I'm going to read this when I'm done. What do you call it? Senior Saints Centers? Oh my God, I translated. Things. What's the
And this count. People that were working on for the 67.
Already got that.
Okay.
They've already said. They started next time. They started that.
Okay. So have we started? Can you hear yet, Brenda? Hey, can you hear me? Yes, ma'am. Are we speaking into the microphone?
Brother John, for this particular question, should we say location is identify areas near Fairfax, Burt, whatever? Because
it's whatever you wanted to say.
But in this case, Larry, brother Diggin Pius, do you wish to narrow it down to this area, or you're saying anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the prompt that we came with. Okay, she says she can't hear. I don't understand. Hold on. Nope, that's going out. Check your. Oh, she can't hear me. But check your volume. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here's the prompt that we came up with. I am responsible for a non-disabled senior in Alexandria, Virginia. As a social worker, please provide a list of all senior citizen centers with a summary of services provided. Please ask any questions necessary to complete the task. I could have said Justin, whatever, but we'll see how it goes. So that's what we asked. And then it says, got the little dot, Thinking longer for a better answer. Where's Orlando? Because I said, please. Searching senior centers in Alexandria, Virginia, finding senior centers, navigating the centers and the calendars, listing, verifying Alexandria and Fairfax. Compiling, well, that's what it's saying. Compiling the senior list, finalizing the list. Absolutely. Here's a social worker style roundup of senior citizens that serve non-disabled older adults in and around Alexandria. Limited to sites in Alexandria address and 2 city Alexandria centers. I've summarized what each offers, included phones, hours, and quick notes. The City of Alexandria, operated by DHS. The St. Martin Center, it talks about, it gives an address. Services, congregate lunch, no charge for over 60, provides transportation to the center, fitness, exercise, and bingo sides. Never heard of that. ESL class, computer tech, health, blah, 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 blah. Monthly activity calendars are published by the city. There's the Charles Houston Senior Citizen Center. It gives an address, congregate for lunch, transportation, silver sneakers, I guess that's exercise, chair yoga, music therapy, games, presentations, walking trips, arts and crafts, health education, blah, blah, blah. Monthly calendar is available. Note, the city's recreation for older adults page confirmed these two Division of Aging and Adult Services Centers, plus broader 50+ recreation options. Power Plus, Silver Sneaker, special events. Nearby, Fairfax County, and then it lists 3 centers there. Also citywide support, not a center, but key services for Alexandria residents. Quick planning note, give you some notes in case you want to do some things. Said that the city centers are ideal for daily socialization. The Fairfax centers, the Fairfax with Alexandria addresses are strong alternatives based on neighborhood proximity. They require 50 or older for membership and offer meals and transport. I'll cut and paste it and send it to you. And it says, wait, it ends with, here are a few questions that I can tailor the plan if you want me to. What's the neighborhood or major intersection that you're interested in? What type of transportation? Can they use city-provided senior transportation, public transportation, or do they need a caregiver driver? What are the preferred activities? What are the dietary needs? What are the schedule constraints? If you give them that, they'll tailor it to whatever you need. Okay? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, is that cool? Oh, I'm glad you spoke up again. Because I thought that was, I thought it was right, exactly. Okay. What's everybody else interested in?
So where can I go to see a mixed martial arts game?
Okay, let me. Larry and Cool, it's in my outbox. It'll go out this thing. Okay?
I appreciate that.
No worries.
Where you can go to Italy and they come and pick you up, then
Yes,
they
that's,
have the services during that. And then they bring you,
yes, that's what I'm looking
not residential.
for, not residential.
It's they can block it, but that's why you'll put it. That.
Well, or it's a conversation. You don't get everything. If you and I are talking about something, you don't always give the most complete answer in the first go. You talk, I talk, you talk, I talk. It's the same way with this. It's going to come back and ask you. There's no perfect way to phrase the first question. So let's try. You could tailor it, or if I'm the one trying action, I start calling these people and verify and have conversations with a real person to see if that fits my needs. It's better than just going to the yellow pages or Googling it. It provides you more information. And this is for, what's the word? Oh, Deacon. Mary Gray Parks just said, woohoo. Now the deacon doesn't have to ask me to find that information for him. Patricia Edwards said, be nice. Okay. Oh, I am. I haven't seen it yet. It's in my outbox.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What I typed in for Michael was, as an MMA enthusiast in Fairfax, I said AV, I misspelled Virginia. Please let me know where I can find cage matches in the local area. Its response was, if by cage matches you mean MMA bouts in an enclosed cage/octagon, here are a few local promoters, gyms, and fight event outlets around Fairfax/Northern Virginia that you can follow. Some are formal, some more grassroots. If you tell me the radius you're willing to travel, I can refine it further. So it lists Cagezilla Fighting in Manassas, Virginia Cage Fighting Championships statewide, and Street Beefs, backyard grassroots. That's that YouTube kind of nonsense. And then it says local gyms and training centers, here are folks with blah, 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 blah. So there you go. So who wants to accomplish something? Somebody want to learn something? Like I want to. Okay, watch this. You want to? You want to conversational? You want to be able to read it, write it, or? I'm letting her do it.
Elementary.
Okay. Okay.
So Lawrence, I think you're gonna pick up today.
Just got a note that said the bags won't be here till tomorrow. So I'm going to Party Depot to buy some.
Okay. Okay, take your time. I'll be here till you get back. All right.
Ohio. Ohio. Can't you say Jacob Morgan? I don't know.
All right. Yes, everybody thank Nikita for this chili.
That means good. I don't know. Everybody's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Yeah, the person said me, I'm sorry, but
If I get home, my grandbaby gets me right.
First he actually called me we called last night.
Okay.
Said I'll be in the next one.
Okay, for Dolores. Again, you're never going to do the first prompt exactly right, and it's a conversation. So I just said, I'm a retired professional who is interested in learning Spanish. That means you've had some education in your background, blah, blah, blah. Please provide a 90-day lesson plan Left out the word plan. Say what? Learn the level plan that will enable me to reach beginning Spanish fluency. Please ask any questions necessary to complete this task. Fire. Whoa. It replied, perfect. I'd love to help you build a structured 90-day Spanish plan to reach beginner fluency. To make sure I design something that really fits you, I need to clarify a few things first. Learning style, more academic or more structured academic, grammar exercises, drills, or more conversational practice, dialogue, role play, listening, speaking. Okay. Time commitment. How much a day are you comfortable dedicated? 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours? Okay, you're good. When I did mine, I said 30 minutes. I said 15 to 30 minutes. I'm not that person. What's your goal for conversation and travel, or reading and writing, or both? And again, come over here. I'm going to show you how I do this. So what I do is I take the questions, because I'm not a good typist, and I cut the questions into a little notepad. So what's your learning style? Do you want more structured or conversational?
More structure involved.
Grammar, exercises, and drills, or do you want dialogue, role play, listening, and speaking? Conversation. Okay. So I'm going to put all that off. Time commitment, you said 30 minutes? Okay. Focus is your goal for travel, or do you want to read a book, or both?
That's very knowledgeable for me.
Huh?
I can go home and fish.
So what?
Thank you very kindly for the knowledge that you gave me that I didn't have.
Okay. No worries, man. Hey, look, take care of your other, okay? Tools and resources. Do you prefer any of these?
It's too small. See,
Okay. Okay. Do you already have or prefer any resources like Babbel, Duolingo, textbooks, YouTube? Let's just say YouTube, because you can get to that. Okay. Any last questions? Practice options. Do you have access to Spanish speakers, or do you prefer online exchange?
Also say on stages, others, I could do it with Stacy.
Yeah, you know better than that. Okay, cultural interest. Are you interested in Spain, Mexico, or Latin America?
Let's say Mexico.
I was going to say most of the people are coming here from Mexico or Latin America. So. Okay. So the last one is past language experience. Have you ever studied Spanish before, or any other language? I'm going to say none. Okay. Okay. So what we did, it came back with 1, 2, 3, 7 questions. We answered those questions in a little notepad. And I'm going to cut and paste that in the chat box and send it to it. And it says, perfect, thank you. With your answers in mind, I'll design a 90-day Spanish plan, about 30 minutes a day, that builds both conversational and reading writing skills. Since you're interested in Mexican Spanish, that was one of the questions, we'll use vocabulary and expressions common to Mexico. Because Mexican Spanish is different from Spanish, different from South American Spanish. We'll lean on YouTube for lessons. And I'll suggest some conversational practice through iTalki, HelloTalk, or Meetup. That's how you can go online and actually talk to a Spanish speaker. I'll break this into 3 30-day phases, split into 10 minutes for vocabulary, which is going to be pronunciation and YouTube flashcards or lists, 10 minutes on grammar, sentence building, and 10 minutes practice speaking aloud, writing, or exchanges. And then here's the 90-day lesson plan. It gives you goals for the first phase, the first 30 days. The goal is to get comfortable pronouncing Spanish words, greeting people, introducing yourself, count, order food, and asking directions. Then it breaks that down into weeks, what you're going to do every week. Then phase 2 gives you the next 30 days. The goal is to express needs, talk about your day, describe things, use present and past tense. And then it breaks those down into days. And then the final 30 days is building fluency, real conversations. Hold short conversations, understand slow speech, use survival Spanish comfortably. And then it breaks that down into 4 weeks. There's a weekly structure, and then the end of 90-day goal is to have a basic conversation, to introduce yourself, order food, ask simple questions, and describe your day. Understand common Mexican expressions, recognize basic written Spanish, menus, signs, short articles, and have a foundation towards intermediate fluencies. And then it says, would you like to expand this into a daily schedule? For day 1, or week 1, it says alphabet, pronunciation, greetings, basic phrases. It says you want to break that down, and we could go, this is exactly what you're going to do on day 1. This is exactly what you're going to do on day 2. So when you finish, and this is where I would normally go, yes, please. And it says, excellent. Here's your day-to-day plan. Week 1, day 1, we're going to do alphabet. There's a video, Spanish butterfly Spanish, not Spanish butterfly. Spanish butterfly Spanish alphabet and sounds. Practice saying A through Z in Spanish. Record yourself. And there's a link for that video that's no longer available. But there you go. It breaks it down the first day, and you can do this iteratively. Break down the next week. Break down the next week. So you put all this in, go to, I'm a big Kinko's FedEx fan. Go to print it out, go to Kinko's FedEx, tell them to bind it for you, get a cover sheet, and there's your textbook for your personal whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So, and we said Spanish, it could have been French, it could have been Swahili. You can definitely use it not to do your assignments for you, but as what do you call it, to enforce what it is you're learning. Eula says, how does one pursue photography if they have an interest? So you know what? I'm gonna paste that in there and just leave it at that. But I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm just saying, how does one pursue photography in the Atlanta, GA area as a hobby if there's an interest? and I'll let it do whatever it's going to do. It's searching the web. Fantastic. There's a lot you can do to explore photography as a hobby around Atlanta, Georgia. Below the roadmap with concrete options. If you tell me your preference, nature, portrait, street, architecture, budget, and how far you're willing to travel, I can narrow things. And it says, key steps to pursue photography as a hobby. You need to get the gear that you need, and then it says you don't need to start at top tier, learn the basics, consider post-processing tools, take classes, workshops, guided training, join clubs, communities, meetups, practice regularly with a purpose, participate in exhibitions, specialize and expand. And then it says local resources in Atlanta, the Atlanta Photography Group, the Atlanta Photographic Society, Atlanta School of Photography, the Atlanta Photography Club, the Sproul Center for the Arts, digital this, digital that. And it broke it out into a 3-month plan as well. First month, you're going to learn your camera and do small photo walks. The second month, you're going to explore genres and get feedback. And the final month, you're going to prepare for an exhibition or public display. If you like, I can map out upcoming workshops in Atlanta over the next 3 to 6 months and help you pick a genre to start with. Would you like me to do that? So again, it becomes a conversation. Is that a good starting point for you, Eula? Okay. Eula says, wow. I'm going to cut and paste that and send it to your email, Eula. She said yes. Donna Reese says, come back home. Okay, and again, I'm just going to go to what we just talked about. And just like anything else in Windows or your iTool that you use, I'm going to highlight this and copy. I'm going to email it to, and there's her nice tables, everything. So I'm going to email, there's my email, and I'm going to email that to you when I get a break. No, I didn't, but I will. Okay, I see where we're going with this. Oh, I love this. What's your title? Huh? Yeah. Government? Okay. So I'm going to say I am a chief administrative. Let's slow down because I can't type fast. Officer in the U.S. government.
Actually, I'm going to say actually I'm with the district of DC. Not that.
With the DC government. Okay? And I'm gonna, I would like to learn more, and it fills in more about strategic planning to assist with. Which example do you want, Gerard? To assist with performance management? Okay. Please ask any questions necessary to complete this task. Okay, I'm a chief administrative officer in the DC government. I would like to learn more about strategic planning to assist with performance management. Please ask me any questions necessary to complete, misspelled, this task. And it goes off. And just that quick. Hold on a second. Okay, got it. You're a chief administrative officer in the DC government looking to strengthen your grasp on strategic planning, specifically to support performance management. That is a great alignment. Strong strategy drives meaningful performance metrics and accountability. Look at you knowing what you're doing. Before I create a tailored learning path, I want to clarify a few things so I can give you the most relevant framework, tools, and resources. And so now you're going to have to come over here and we're going to answer. It gave me 5 questions and I'll tell everybody else to answer. But we're going to go over here to a notepad. We're going to put the questions that he gave us, or she, audience. Is this agency-wide or just division or unit level?
Just unit.
Okay, that's the same thing. Okay. So audience and scope is going to be unit level. Wait a minute, I didn't do that. Okay. Do you need to design a new plan or monitor an existing one?
Fiscal year ends on Tuesday, so we're going to design performance plans.
Okay.
Needing metrics to assist.
Okay. Are you working mainly with internal operational metrics or external community facing metrics? Okay. So
yes, do you want to connect the planning directly with the performance of purposes? Yes.
Amelia, have you previously worked with frameworks like Balanced Scorecard? Let them know. Are you comfortable with that? You've done that.
Do some training in that.
You know, we can follow up with that. Okay. Executive summary courses or self-study?
They don't have any mindset.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So these that will be 90 days. Normally have 20 days. 2 months to they got to be in by November.
Okay, so those are all the answers. Okay, so Brenda's answered the questions. I'm going to cut and paste them into the tool. Says audience and scope, unit level. She needs a new plan. She's working primarily with internal metrics or internal metrics, efficiency, service delivery, staff performance. You want to connect the planning directly to performance appraisal or the KPIs. Which one was it? Okay. Yep. Okay, we'll say both. Um, have you previously worked with balanced scorecard, all this stuff? You said no. Are you comfortable with dashboards and KPIs? Yes. You prefer structured training, executive seminars, courses? Do you want templates and toolkits so you can? You said yes, and you need this all in you got 2 to 4 weeks to study. So we
To study about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it says perfect. Thank you for the detail. Based on what you shared, here's how I would shape a high-level 4-week strategic planning learning roadmap for a unit-level plan that directly supports performance management and staff appraisals. I've also include recommended executive level training programs, templates, and practical steps you can take right away. Okay? Week 1, or 4-week strategic planning. Week 1, foundations of strategic planning in government. Understanding what makes what makes public sector strategic planning different from corporate. Mission, vision, goals, objectives, strategies, and measures. I'm going to introduce you to 2 frameworks, balanced scorecard and results-based accountability. The practical task is going to be to draft a mission and vision statement for your unit. The next week, you're going to do KPIs, metrics, and cascading goals. Translate goals into measurable outcomes, define SMART goals and key performance indicators. Connect organizational performance to staff level appraisals. The practical task is you're going to build a KPI metrics. It's going to have objective metrics, target, data source, frequency, and owner. Week 3, you're going to do strategic analysis and prioritization. You're going to learn tools to analyze your unit's environment. You're going to identify priority areas to address with your new plan. The topics you're going to cover are SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. Pest analysis, political, economic, social, and technical factors. Stakeholder mapping, who influences and who benefits. And choose priorities that matter the most. Everything cannot be a top priority. I so believe that. And then you're going to connect the practical task, and you're going to conduct a SWOT analysis of your unit with your team leadership. And bring it home, week 4, drafting and implementing your plan. Put all these elements together into a working unit level plan how to monitor progress, writing topics to cover, writing a concise strategic plan, 3 to 5 pages, not a binder that collects dust. Governance, who reviews progress, how often, and what happens if targets aren't met. Staff engagement, how you're going to communicate the plan and tie it to appraisals. Continuous improvement and annual refresh cycles. I'm a huge proponent of continuous improvement. Practical tasks, you're going to draft a unit strategic plan. Mission and vision, 2 to 4 goals, objectives, specific and measurable, KPIs, targets and owners, action steps and timelines, and lead to appraisals. That's it. But you can also have some additional stuff. It's recommended executive seminars and short training, the Harvard Kennedy School for Strategic Management of Regulatory and Enforcement Agencies, George Washington University Center for Excellence in Public Leadership, and the Performance Institute. If your office is cheap and they're saying, heck no, here's some books: Strategic Planning for Public and Nonprofit Organizations, the Public Sector Balanced Scorecard, and DC's own performance plan to look at how your agency frames and measures goals. And then here's a list of the templates and toolkits for immediate use. English, Jimmy. I can provide templates for the strategic plan, for the KPI matrix, for the dashboard, for the SWOT analysis, for the goal to appraisal map. So in the end of 4 weeks, in the end of 4 weeks, you'll have a working draft strategic plan, a set of KPIs tied to the unit, performance, and staff appraisal, the ability to confidently explain how your unit aligns with agency-wide strategy, and a clear next step: executive seminar, pilot dashboard, rollout plans. Would you like me to go ahead and build editable templates in Word or Excel for these plans? Gee.
No, thank you very much.
Yes, please. So it's analyzing and they'll come back with all that stuff. Yes, I will. I prepared 3 editable, not edible, you're not going to eat them. Simple for you, unit strategic plan, KPI matrix, SWOT analysis. You can plug in your units details directly and start building. Would you also like for me to create a performance appraisal cascade? And the answer is yes, please. Okay, remember, okay, here's the appraisal map in Word. This will help you connect goals, objectives, staff responsibilities, and performance data. Okay, let's create a one-page Excel dashboard. You know, all the dashboard is it lists the stuff you're supposed to do, and then it gives you a red, green, we call them traffic light thing, then pass. So you get, so the leadership can do a quick look and say, yeah, I'm good or I'm bad. Well, this is why I need to focus. It keeps. I'm just going to keep saying yes because now it's asking you if you want some other stuff. And here's the deal: you can use it or you don't want, or you don't have to. That's all on you. So again, if you were doing this yourself and you're doing the research and they didn't send you to a class for it, how long would it take you? It would take you weeks to come up with this. And so now, when we said that AI is going to revolutionize the workforce, if you don't know, if you're not familiar, and you don't know how to interact with this, the person sitting next to you is going to be turning this stuff in weeks ahead of you, and they're going to start asking you what's taking you so damn long. And of course, they're not going to be. Are you ready for this? Would you also like for me to create a PowerPoint slide version of this executive summary so you can present it to your leadership in meetings? And it says, doing it. And there it is.
The notion of plagiarism. Is that
Well, the notion of plagiarism comes in business as part of the continuous improvement training I got. In business, they've come up with the term benchmark. The benchmark? No one wants to recreate the wheel for anything. So you find somebody who's already doing what you want to do, and you grab theirs, and that's your benchmark. And as long as you give them credit for it, you tell your boss, here's what I've come up with, and I've got it from these sources, tailored it for whatever. Plagiarism only really comes into effect in academia. If I submit a paper and I say this is my work, but I copied it either from a book or from this, that's not your work.
So you're saying benchmark. It's the same as making connections. So.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry, glasses. And just so you just to be clear, I'm just gonna there's your executive summary, you download it, and this is the PowerPoint, and there's the slide deck. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna do this.
Yes, there's pros and cons to this. You can use it to your advantage, but at the same time, it come back and backfire on you.
Yes, ma'am. Breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm serious. I'm man. Absolute stuff. You want that? Oh, my gosh. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
So, Brenda.
she just said Dr. said that.
Okay. Not too bad. Well, this is the, you can see it up there. This is the slide deck they came up with. Quarterly performance executive summary, key highlights, what do we win, how do we do, challenges, risks, what are we doing next quarter? You got leadership in the room, you always ask this question. This is what I need from you. And then you can put your dashboard here. And that's the basic framework for your briefing. Quick to the point. You can dress it up any way you want to, but again, my thing is, it's always good. Getting that first draft is always the hardest. And this gives you a really good first draft. Let me see what else I want to. And just to let you know, it just doesn't do, what's it called? It just doesn't do PowerPoint. There's a dashboard. And of course, what you would do is, I have to share this with everybody, and you would load it with your data, and then the performance would adjust accordingly. So I don't have to be an Excel expert to figure out how to do this, or go get a book or YouTube to say, how do you do this? So Linda, this is the template for the dashboard that they came up with. And of course, you would get it, you load your own data in there. You might want to change the titles or whatever. It doesn't. And here is, pull this back up. Oh, stop it. So here's the template for the briefing to leadership, and it's up there so you can see it. But there's your cover page, you put your own unit name and what quarter, fiscal year. Key highlights, did you win? What was the performance against the target? What are the risks and challenges you had? What are your priorities for next quarter? And since you got leadership in the room, what you need from them right now? And this is where you insert your dashboard. And that's it. Again, you could add on to that. You can add on to it. You can subtract from it, whatever. All right. And I will send, I will do all the emails when I get home because I got to download them. I don't have the email addresses here. They're at home. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. So I got a couple or more slides that I want to go over. and then we'll be done. And I'm not going to go back up to the front.
I was in it earlier when it really simple something about it. I got mine.
Do you ever think about that? That they were going to reverse stones on March for 6 years.
Okay, so bottom line, so we just had the live demonstrations. Yay. Thank you for your input. You guys got any questions? Okay. So here's the bottom line. It's not up there, it's over here. AI is everywhere. And you need to get on board or get left behind, is the bottom line. Especially for our kids. There's a whole world going on out there, and if we don't tell them, they don't get it. Oh.
Very careful. They are not having AI do all of their
Absolutely.
papers that they have
Yeah, and I spoke about that earlier. You know, there's software out there that the teachers run against the assignments to let them know if it was generated by AI or not, or the likelihood that it was generated by AI. I look at us all as moral Christian people anyway. So you're not gonna, and hopefully if you have younger ones under your care or you're influencing, you're not gonna have them do wrong. I always go back to a hammer. A hammer is a great thing. It could be a houses, it could be a community, it could do all some good things. It could also bash your brains out.
radio just recent, probably last week.
Right.
Somebody had turned in something and teacher said, did you do this or is this AI?
Exactly. No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. I'm saying that in this room, if I'm going to give my child anything, I'm going to make sure they use it correctly. That's all I'm saying. Oh, absolutely. So we've already said we don't plagiarize in this house. Whether you plagiarize out of a physical book or a computer, it's still plagiarizing. Yeah. So that I assume that as the going in point. But what I've also realized is that, and that's why it's important to know your friends' friends. If your friend's friend group, if they're not academically engaged, they're not forward thinking, chances are this isn't even on their radar. And just like everything else, we're not in competition with the person sitting next to you anymore. You're in competition with those people in India, in Japan, in China. And guess what? They are focused on this like a laser. AI can make you more efficient and more productive no matter what you do. I think we've demonstrated that with the lesson plan for Spanish, with the strategic planning. How different are those things? The flyers, the emails, the analysis of the, whatever you want is in there. And if you have any questions, there's a wide variety of resources out there. You don't have to go take a $1,000 class. You can go on YouTube and look up prompt engineering. What's the best way to do prompt? Well, that's it. What's the best way to do it? My challenge to you, I gotta leave you with a challenge. Is, you need to, don't let it die here. Explore AI tools. Whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini. If you're in the videos, go to in something. In video, I think it's called. But trust me, it's out there. Or just go and try ChatGPT today. Go forth and do well. And you notice you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know what you want. That's it.
You think you know what you want, but you're not sure really.
Okay. To me, that's the same thing as I want to talk to you, but I don't know what I want to tell you. How can I tell you what? There you go. So, and just like we focus today on Chat GPT or general AI, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're doing, we didn't get this, but whatever it is you're doing, there's an AI for it. Someone has built a model for it already. And guess what? There's a website called There's an AI for that. And if you go to that website, what you'll see is oh, where did it go? Okay, it's not there. People online, I'm sorry, but I'm going to type in there's, if I could spell, there is an AI for that. Actually, it's theirs, there with an apostrophe S. And it says there, and it says there's an AI for that. And it says these are all the different AI models that are out there. And they come out with new ones every week. So whatever it is you're interested in, Sister Eula said photography. So I'm typing and it says it for me, photography. Those are all the AIs dealing with photography. I'm just curious. Strategic, oh, spelled wrong. Strategic planning. These are AIs dedicated directly for strategic planning. So they're going to be better. These are, I just typed in strategic planning, and they gave me 2 AI tools dedicated to strategic planning. So they're going to be more comprehensive than just the general tool. So my point is that there are AI tools out there that will write code for people nowadays. You can say, I want to build a system to do whatever, but I don't know how to program. Tell it what you want, it will generate the code. Personally, I still think you need to program because if it does a mistake, you need to know how to correct it. But that's just me.
Are we programming ourselves? Usefulness, you know, I mean, when you start thinking, and you do. What's that thing about?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I tried to hint at. It's happening regardless. And so, I'm a big Star Trek fan. If you know anything about Star Trek, in the Star Trek world, they've gone past money. Money is not a motivator anymore. They're in a post-monetary society. We're going to take the United States. This is my soapbox. We are very money-driven right now. And we're also, our morals are out of whack. If someone is poor in America, not everybody, but in general, society looks at that person and says, your problem is you. You're in America and you're poor, that's a personal problem. That's not a society problem. So I don't feel obligated to solve your personal problem. Now, AI comes along and I'm getting rid of cashiers, I'm getting rid of receptionists, I'm getting rid of, I'm not going to say making them poor, I'm just going to say we've thrown them out of the workforce. Okay, now that they're unemployed, you can't say, well, we're going to take these people and retrain them because there's nothing to retrain them into. So there's going to have to be a shift. That's why I don't think this Trump stuff can last forever anyway. There's going to have to be a shift in how we look at poverty in this country, or unemployment. Other countries are already looking at universal basic income. They're saying if the government, if I can buy $1 zillion worth of nuclear weapons, surely I can pay for people's health care. See, we're behind on that. We're the only industrialized country without health care, government health care. But there are a few cities that have actually tested universal basic income, which means the government will give you a check for your basic subsistence, and everything after that is on you. For us to do that, you can imagine that. For us to do that, you're gonna have to change people's minds on what unemployment looks like, and I believe that when certain groups of people who aren't now highly represented in those or not believed to be highly represented in those unemployment lines, when it gets to a point to where you can't deny it anymore, and they all look like somebody else and not me, that's when the attitudes will change. And when the attitudes change, laws are going to change. The only reason we have the New Deal and welfare and all that was because of the Depression. It was too many white people out of work. So anyway, are we putting ourselves out of work? Absolutely. Absolutely. But society 50 years from now is not going to look like society today. It can't. Huh?
You know, just because a lot of people are going to be possibly starting Wednesday, if that continuing resolution
Doesn't get passed. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think 30-something days. They talking about firing them now.
Yeah.
So that's it. Thank you. Any final questions? I thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. This has been on my to-do list for a while. I finally got around to it. So yay. And when you leave here and you start your personal AI journey, hey, if you ever have questions or get frustrated, give me a call. Dorothy Meyer says, I'm fortunate I'm here in Silicon Valley. That's right, out in California. I have access to a lot of AI resources and training. This webinar encourages me to seek out more information. Absolutely. Thank you, Gerard. Thank you, Sister Myers. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Julie. Oh, Eula stayed on to the end. Thank you, Eula. Appreciate you. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Mary Pop. Everybody keeps saying, come home, Eula.
Jimmy, thank you for everything. Thank you.
You are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming. I will send the slides out.
Check GPT. I think I'm gonna play with that later on.
Great. Take your notebooks with you, all that good stuff. You said, oh,
He's looking good. Me and Mary, I'll have about
you good, Cynthia?
she's doing good.
All right.